Boys, Tomatosaucin here, and this on my screen may not look like peak performance, but I can assure you, for Warrior and Ulduar, all 3 DPS specs, it is. What I've got for you today, guys, is an exciting video. The eye level change coming in Ulduar, the higher levels of armor penetration that we're able to gather. Warrior stock is rising. I'm not saying it's assassination rogue level yet. We ain't there, but we have definitely crossed the line into respectable. We will absolutely out DPS subtlety rogues and frost mages. They have no chance. We've ascended from the meme tier. And Fury in general is looking up. I'll be honest with you. Fury is catching up to Combat Rogue. It's nipping at the heels of Combat Rogue. And Combat Rogue out DPS's quite a few specs in today's version of Classic WoW. So with Fury being so close, I think we're in a pretty good spot, right? Arms is a little bit behind Fury, about 1,000 DPS behind, but that's not too bad. So here's the breakdown, right? You've got Combat Rogue coming in at about 9,900 DPS. They haven't broke that 10,000 threshold yet, no matter which way they slice and dice their simulations. Assassination Rogue is higher single target, of course, because it's the superior rogue spec. Then you've got Fury coming in just under 9,500. So a couple hundred DPS gap between Fury and Combat Rogue. And Arms Warrior right behind that, coming in at 8,500 DPS. So, in my opinion, you've got an absolutely great future ahead of you as a warrior in Classic WoW. Stocks are rising, boys, and they're going to continue to rise as we're able to gather more and more armor penetration. Let's go through this best in slot list for Ulduar. You're going to notice, and what I think is the coolest part of going through these pieces and simming them out in WoW Sims, and I'll take you over to that in a second, is that so many of these pieces actually come from 10-man, whereas Phase 1 BIS, you really don't get much out of 10-man Naxxramas. Makes it to the point where after you have your Plague Proto Drake, you know, you kind of don't even want to go back there. Sure, the badges are nice. Maybe you'll sell something on the auction house, but that is not the case in 10-man Ulduar. You have plenty of best-in-slot items for Fury, Arms, and KEBAB Warrior. And you're looking good overall. You're looking good overall. So let's get into it. Let's dissect what I dub as the clown suit, because you absolutely look like a killer clown in this thing. And you'll notice I've decided to come back on my ways of being a plate purist. I got a plate only set, which I'll show you in the sim, simming up to about 9,300, 9,250 DPS. But when you're almost at 9,500, if you can get your hands on these leather pieces, you absolutely should. It's time to start prying leather pieces out of your rogue friends' cold, hardened, rigid fingers. All right, take them right out of their cold, dead hands and put this leather gear on your body. It's time to start making rogues mad again, because we're on the way to going past them, right? I'm going to really be at an internal conflict eventually, because I play both classes, but you know, when am I not? So let's dissect this clown suit. Fury, best in slot, really just warrior DPS best in slot in Ulduar. We're going to start out with the war helm of the champion. You can see we got a massive amount of strength and stamina on here. We're rocking our 50 attack power Ebon Blade enchant. I run the Relentless Earth Siege Diamond along with the Inscribed Noble Topaz and the gem slots, so I can get that extra 8 strength. You'll see we're getting critical strike chance and hit chance from the helmet. Next, into the Pendulum of Infinity, I tried my hardest not to use this necklace, but alas, it just sims higher than everything else. We've got 73 agi, 79 stamina, taking 34 strength, just dropping the jewel crafting gem in there. Then we're getting attack power, critical strike chance, and haste. This thing just is giving us so much DPS, and we already have hit and a ton of expertise, so we're looking good there. Next, we're going after the rogues. We're taking the shoulder pads of the intruder, 99 agility, 109 stamina. We've got our Sons of Hodir exalted reputation enchant on there. We're dropping our tier here so we can get 6 agility as opposed to the 4 from the necklace. And we're dropping another 34 strength, big fat jewel crafting gem in the shoulders. Takes us down to the Drape of the Faceless General. If you try to sim this drape on WoW Sims, you actually have to go to phase 5 to find it, but it does drop in this phase. So we're going to enchant that with our Flex Weave Underlay because we're big bad enchanters. Drop a 34 strength in there, and then an Inscribed Noble Topaz so we can get the 6 agility off the cape. And all that scales with kings, right? So the more of our stats that we put together, right, the more socket set bonuses we can grab. You notice I do ignore a lot of them, but when we can get a main stat or an off stat to proc on one of those pieces, we go for it because we're getting 10% of all of our stats from king. So that just scales exponentially as your item level scales. Now we jump in to the Conqueror's Siegebreaker battle plate. You thought, are we actually not going to take tier? No, we're going to take the 2-piece because Heroic Strike and Slam, which we're going to be pumping out on Fury, they have a chance to give us 150 haste for 5 seconds. This will be proccing like crazy on a Fury Warrior because you're going to get those instant slams and you're going to be heroic striking anytime you're at 30 plus rage and all your abilities are on CD. Fury, you got a ton of APM in this spec. You're over 35. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. So you'll be pressing those buttons there. And as you can see, we got some critical strike and armor penetration on the Conqueror Siegebreaker battle plate. Next, we're going to go to the Armbands of Bedlam. 84 strength, 92 stamina, 50 attack power enchant, dropping a 16 strength gem in there to get our extra 6 critical strike. We have crit strike and haste. These are just a super high item level, the best plate item level piece you can get for the phase. You got to go after them if you can get them. For our gloves, we're bringing in the Conqueror Siegebreaker gauntlets, and really it's because they're such a good piece for hit and expertise, and it's not like there's any other good 252 piece that you're going to take over these. So you get your 2-piece, which is a big DPS bump for you. You enchant these guys with your hyperspeed accelerators. You could probably use a 16 strength gem here because the 4 hit isn't really doing anything for you. So maybe I'll change that up before I drop the link on the description. Yeah, so you're getting your 2-piece on your hand slot. Next, we're going to the Soul Devouring Cinch, and I really wanted to try to make the Belt of Colossal Rage work, but we don't need the hit, and it's only got critical strike on it after that. Whereas the Soul Devouring Cinch, we're going to get 3 red sockets, most importantly. So we're getting a little extra attack power bonus here. But then we have 60 critical strike rating, 64 expertise, which we were low on, and 130 attack power. So yeah, you really can't beat this belt. It's, in my opinion, the best belt for the phase. Then you have the Leg Guards of Cunning Deception. Again, you're chasing the rogues down and you're ripping these out of their hands, right? You're just beating them over the head with these 2 giant swords and you're taking those leggings. So we're going to enchant these with the Ice Scale. What the heck is this enchant called? Yeah, Ice Scale Leg Armor. 75 attack power, 22 critical strike rating. I'm dropping 3 strength gems in there, but you're getting a ton of stats on these legs. You're getting 174 attack power, 89 crit, and 75 armor penetration. And as you can see down here, it's pretty rare today in phase 1 for anybody to even be over 10% armor penetration. We're going to up that by over 400%. We're going to be at 45% base armor penetration in our phase bis gear. So we will be absolutely cracking. And then every time your Mjolnir Runestone procs, you're going to be almost at 100% armor penetration, maybe 100% AP. So ARP, you're going to be in a really good spot on Fury, Arms, even KEBAB this tier. You're going to have a lot of fun here, guys. Now, this takes us to the Sabatons of Lifeless Night. We're just getting haste crit We're getting 2 sockets out of these guys. We're going to enchant them with our nitro boost, so we get 24 more critical strike rating. And as you can see, our critical strike chance is 53% rate buffed. How do you go against that? I mean, it's absolutely massive. You're going to be critting like crazy, deep wounds all over the place. This phase is when Fury Warrior really starts to come alive. And then the next raid, phase 3, we're even going to go crazier. But right now, just think that you're a snowball going down the hill and you're getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. It's going to be an absolute clown show in Ulduar in your clown suit. You're going to love it. Now, our 2 rings are beautiful. These are just quest rings. So generally, guilds are going to give these to DPS first because DPS are going to get the biggest gains out of these. So these drop off of Algalon. So Algalon 10-man, Algalon 25-man, just like the Nax necklace. You click it, starts a quest. You go do some RP nonsense, and you get a sick ring. So we got Brand Sealing Ring and Brand Signet Ring. And it's a massive amount of attack power, critical strike chance, and armor penetration on both of these bad boys. This leads us into the trinkets. As you can see, boys, you can firmly throw away those Dark Moon card greatnesses once you get your Dark Matter and your Mjolnir Runestone. I haven't been able to get Dark Moon card greatness to out-sim this trinket combination, and I love that news because I hate that trinket. Never bought it on my warrior, do have it on my rogue, but throw it away because you're going to be replacing it pretty soon. We got our Dark Matter, increases attack power by 235. And then from there, your melee and ranged attacks have a chance to increase your critical strike rating, of which you already have over 53% of, by an additional 612. Your screen's just going to light up with crits. Then the Mjolnir Runestone, really the piece de la resistance for Fury Warrior, critical strike by 115, massive, and your melee and ranged attacks, obviously we're in melee, have a chance to increase your armor penetration rating by 751. This trinket is absurd. It's so insane that it replaced Dark Moon card greatness. So be happy that this combination exists, boys. Go after these guys. And again, right, 10-man. I think Mjolnir's 10-man too. Yeah, so these are both 10-man items. So of these BIS items, I haven't gotten to weapons yet, right? Of these BIS items, you got a ring that's coming from 10-man. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 BIS items for the phase coming from 10-man. So 6 items total that you will wear at the end of this phase are coming from 10-man Ulduar. That's awesome. And then the rest drops out at 25. Now, let's get to our weapons and our ranged weapon first. We'll grab our throne. This is the twirling blades. You are taking this because it's an absolutely great source of armor penetration. You're getting 32 armor pen, 25 hit, 70 attack power. I threw an armor pen gem in this guy just because I was feeling froggy. Then you get 26 agility, 32 stamina. The best gems that I've found via my sims on WoW Sims have been strength gems, though. I will be completely honest about that. But you know, I'll fix that for you guys when I go over when I throw this in the description, so you guys have a reference of this BIS list. All right, so now our weapons. These are the big boys coming out of 25-man Ulduar. You'll see 1163 top end, 3.6 speed swords. We're gonna hit them both with berserking. Voldrathar, Dark Blade of Oblivion. Lightning bolt, these are incredible because you get 79 armor penetration on each sword. You're going to hit them with berserking. You get a ton of crit on them. So these are just, not only are they great stat sticks coming in with almost 150 strength each, but the extra armor penetration you're getting from these guys is absolutely massive. And it's just a better choice than, unfortunately, what Arms gets saddled with, where Arms is looking at a polearm whose stats aren't even that great, agility based, but Arms is still simming really high with it. So, or you can go the KEBAB route, and I'll show you that too. So now I'll just go through the weapons for Arms. You're going to see different gear here because I was testing out different sets and then bringing them over to a sim. But the weapon you'll use as Arms in the clown suit, is the Dark Edge of Depravity. You're going to get hit, haste, and attack power on this big guy. And then if you do want to go KEBAB, which KEBAB is absolutely on the menu this phase, just because of all of the crazy amounts of armor penetration, haste, hit, expertise, it's really starting to come online. Unfortunately, we get stuck with a Nax 10-man weapon in Touch of Madness. You always want to use that axe main hand. But we do also get Remorse, which is a really fast, solid, great choice for single target, one-handed sword. So those are the weapons that I would use as arms, KEBAB and Fury. And this, boys, this is your clown suit for Ulduar. This is your goal. You're going to look like this goofball chasing the rogues for their gear, but that's okay. Now, I said I would show some sims. Let's come over to the Warrior Simulator over here. As you can see, I actually have the arms clown suit here. I had simmed this earlier, about 8,400 DPS. So looking good there. Now I will click the Fury clown suit preset, and I'll come over here. TMT. Oh, tell me. Oh, it doesn't matter because, yeah, I just saved it wrong. So now I'll save all of my presets for Fury Warrior. And I will resim this bad boy. I was actually getting it at like 9,400 early, so I wonder what I messed up here. Oh, the talents. What, did I just figure something out for arms? That's funny. So Fury. Gear. Yep, our gear is good. Resim that. And you can see Fury is absolutely cracking. It's about 450 DPS behind Combat Rogue in a simulation setting. We'll see if Warriors actually live up to their sims this tier, because last tier they really didn't, except for maybe but a handful of people. And that is very unlike the Warrior class, whereas in TBC, Warrior was hitting on the simulator. I did find a couple errors back in the day with regards to KEBAB. They were saying KEBAB is simming about 20% less, but I was hitting all 99s and out DPSing two-handed Warriors on KEBAB. I'm seeing about the same thing with KEBAB on the sim now. It's simming about 15% lower than what Arms is coming in at. So Arms is coming in at about 8,500. KEBAB is somewhere in like the 7,000, like 7,400 range, somewhere around there. But I really don't trust the sims for KEBAB Warrior. I just don't think that they're optimized for that. But Fury's coming in very good. Arms is coming in great if you like two-handed arms, which I think is one of the more fun, unexpectedly fun specs of the expansion. Slamming has been never been easier, so it's been a good time learning this. So guys, I hope this video gets you psyched up to play your Warrior in Ulduar. Things are looking really good. You're even able to mix and match your armor pen sets a little bit more. I was able to get some sets all the way up to 70% base armor penetration, but I think I was kind of giving up too much strength there. So, you know, it's a happy medium. The strength is going to scale better than the armor penetration, but we are getting over 400% more armor penetration than we have access to in Nax in Ulduar. So things are looking good. Guys, have a good day. Have a good night. Have a good week. Have a good month. And have a good year. Tomatosaucin out. All three Warrior DPS specs are absolutely in for Ulduar. Have a good night.